Hey there, everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome to a presentation of the 2000 World Series. We're using Replay Baseball, and it's the Yankees at the Mets at Shea Stadium in Flushing, Queens, New York. And we are joining the action in the top of the fourth. The score right now is the Mets 3 and the Yankees 1. It was a two-run homer by Edgardo Alfonso in the bottom of the third with one on that put the Mets up by 2. We're joining the action in the top of the fourth. On the mound for the Mets is Bobby J. Jones, and he will be facing Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill, and Jorge Posada. So Tino, O'Neill, and Posada. And Replay Baseball is a whole lot of fun. And you get a lot of the seasons that aren't available in other sets, so that's why I really like it. The PC game is probably the best on the market, especially if you want to input dice and card results. So that's all I have to say right now. So we're going to be rolling. It's going to be the red and the white off the batter card, and then the red and the blue off the pitcher's card. And here goes. So it's going to be a 4-3. That's an 11. And then a 2. Okay, what fielder is that? That's the second baseman. Second baseman is Alfonso. So we're going to take a look. It's probably an error check. And he's a 155. So it's not going to be easy to get an error on Alfonso. Let's see what happens. Oh, and there it is. He bobbles the ball. And everybody is safe. So Martinez reaches on an error by the second baseman, Edgardo Alfonso. And next is going to be Paul O'Neill. Here's the pitch from Bobby Jones. He's a right-hander. That's a 3-2. That's a 2. And then a 3-4 is a 5. So a 3-5 is a short fly to left field. Under it is Agbayani for out number 1. It's 3-1 Mets here in the top of the fourth. The series, Mets are up in the series. This is the fourth game of the series. It says it right up here. And the Mets are ahead 2-1. So the Yankees don't want to fall behind 3-1 in this series. Jorge Posada. And that's a 3-6. That's a 62. A 62, a 66. So a 366 is going to say line drive single. Runners advance 2 bases. So hustling the third is going to be Tino Martinez. First and third now. And it's Scott Brocious with 1 out in the top of the fourth. Infield is halfway. That's a 2-3, and that's going to be a 3, and then a 2-4 is a 6, a 2-6. That's a strikeout. So 2 outs. Brocious goes down swinging. And it's the pitcher spot, Denny Nagel, the number 3 pitcher hitting card. And here's the pitch. It's a 1-4, and that's a 4. And then a 1-1, and that's a strikeout, back-to-back Ks, and Bobby Jones gets out of trouble. No runs, 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Now the lineup for the Mets. It's leading off is Timo Perez. Batting second is Edgardo Alfonso. The second baseman batting third is Mike Piazza. Batting cleanup is Todd Zeile, the first baseman. Robin Ventura is batting fifth. Batting sixth is Benny Agbayani, and Jay Payton in center field batting seventh. Batting eighth is Mike Bordick, and batting ninth is Bobby Jones, the pitcher. Todd Zeile is up with Robin Ventura on deck. And we're filling these in as we go just so we can easily pick up what's been going on in the game and identify any trends. And then what I do on errors, I just kind of box them in, kind of make them a little bit. And this tells me that there was an error there. All right. So here goes. Todd Zeile, Denny Nagel's a left-hander. And Nagel can go up to the 6th inning. Both pitchers can go up to the 6th inning. 3-2. So a 3-2 is a 3-2 is a 2, and a 3-1 that's a 3, and a 3-3 is going to be a dribbler in front of the plate. Out from behind the plate is the catcher, and that is Posada over to Martinez for out number 1. Robin Ventura is next. He's a pitch. He's a left-handed batter. That's a 2-5, and that's a 5, and then a 2-3 is a 7-2-7, and that is a foul out to the second baseman near the stands, and makes the catch, Agbayani. And he's a right-handed hitter, 63, and that's a 16. And a 6-4 is a 21, 6-21, and that's a fly out deep center field. On the run is Bernie Williams, and he catches up to it with 1 foot on the track, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits. We go to the top of the 5th. And it's the top of the order against Bobby Jones for the Mets on the mound. Derek Jeter with a 4-1. That's a 1. And then a 4 is the shortstop. Let me even write down. That's a 252. So let's see. A 4-1 is a 1, and shortstop is a ground ball to the shortstop. Bordick, he's up with it, fires the first, and gets Jeter by half a step. 1 up, 1 down. Louis Soho is next. That's Snake Eyes. That's a 10. And then a 1-3 is a 13. A 1-13, and that's a little ground ball and through for a base hit. On at first is Luis Soho. David Justice. Here's the pitch from Bobby Jones. That's a 2-5. It's a 4. And a 2-2 is a 7. A 2-7 is a pop-up to the right side in foul territory. Second baseman Edgardo Alfonso there, and he makes the catch in foul territory. 2 out, and here's Bernie Williams. Oh, with a 6-1, that's a 16. And a 6-6 is a 21. That's a deep fly to center. Backing up is the center fielder Payton, makes the catch, and that retires the side. No runs and 1 hit. I make my hits into green, and then my grounders into gray. Go to the bottom of the 5th. It's going to be Payton, Bordick, and Jones. Here's a pitch from Denny Nagel. That's a 3-5, which is a 3. Then a 3-4 is a 3-5 altogether, and that is a short fly left field. Racing in is the left fielder, Justice, and he gets there for the out. 1-5 is a 5, and 8. It's a 1-8, and that is popped up. Left side. Third baseman Brocious settles under it and squeezes it for the out. That's 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Mets are up 3-1. Next is the pitcher spot. A 6-3 is a 36. A 39, that's going to be a K. And I had a somewhat of a learning curve on this game. And I feel that I've kind of overcome that. I've passed the curve, and I'm on a straightaway now. And I'm really enjoying it. So it pays off to be, to not give up on things and to kind of be patient with them. I talk to guys all the time, and they say, well, I played a game and it took forever. I go, well, how many games did you play? 1. You played 1 game, it took forever. Come on now. When I learn a new system, I actually break it down and the game into 3 segments. First 3 innings, second 3 innings, and third 3 innings. And I'll take a break because I know I'm going a little bit slower. Really, a big part of everything you do is becoming familiar with where everything is. That's the first step in learning anything. Once you familiarize yourself where you need to look to find things, then the next step is kind of working things out and getting into the flow and understanding the flow of the game and how it works. Tino Martinez, not necessarily memorizing them. You will memorize it. Like, everybody in the world, when they go around go, they collect 200, right? And everybody knows that. How much do you collect when you go around go in Monopoly? And everybody says 200. I go, did you ever take the Monopoly class? Did you ever study the rules? No, but you know it from playing it. And that's just how it works. That's how the brain works. So we're going to color in some of these here just quickly. Again, there's a 4 outs in the air. In a row, there was 1 ground ball. And there was 1 strikeout. All right, top of the 6th, Tino Martinez is going to be up. Now, both these pitchers can go 6 innings. And then I got to switch to their B section, which I may do that, just to limit how many times I have to go into the bullpen, which I really hate. So it's top of the 6th, 3-1 Mets. Yeah, I'll do that. 1, 2, 3. Here goes. Pitch from Bobby Jones is a 63. That's a 16, a 20, and that's a deep fly to right. Under it is the right fielder, Timo Perez. And he puts it away. Next is Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill's 0 for 1 with a walk. 5 and a 6 is a 1. And then a 5 and a 6 is a 1. And a 5 and a 1 is a 2. 5-2. And that's grounded to the first baseman. And that is Todd Zeal. Races O'Neill to the bag and beats him there. 2 out. Jorge Posada. 6'4" is a 57. It's a 61, a 661, and that's going to say a ball that's driven over the center fielder's head, and that's going to roll to the wall. Posada with 2 outs is going to get the second base standing up. So a 2-out double for Jorge Posada, who will line that over the head of Jay Payton. Kind of froze Payton there. A rising line drive. Scott Brosius sees the pitch from Bobby Jones. That's a 5-4. That's a 20. And a 5-6 is a 23. A 5-23, and that's ball 4. That's going to put runners on first and second. That's going to take us to the M chart. And that's an 8. An 8 says wild pitch, and it says if blue die is higher than the pitcher's wild pitch, well, it's a 6, so it's probably going to be a wild pitch. Bobby Jones has a 5, so it is going to be a wild pitch. Both runners are going to advance. And we're going to give Bobby Jones a wild pitch. So it's second and third with the pitcher up. And this is going to force us, because of the situation here in the 6th, to bring in a pinch hitter for the Yanks. And it's going to cause us to kind of look a little bit. And we have some interesting characters here. I don't really know who the Yanks were using at this time. Chuck Knobloch. We could use him. We may want to use, because Bobby Jones is a righty, so we may want to use a lefty. Jose Vizcaino. Jose Vizcaino bats both. So that's the guy we want to bring in. Perfect. And then the new pitcher is going to be, let's see, Perez is a lefty, Alfonso, and then we're going to have 2 righties. So we're going to bring in a righty, and that's going to be Nelson. Jeff Nelson. All right. So Vizcaino is going to step in the box. He's going to bat from the left side against the righty Bobby Jones. The tying run is at second base. There are 2 outs in the inning. So pinch hitter, Vizcaino. And here's the pitch from Bobby Jones. Oh, that's a 5-5. That's a 15. And then a 1 is a 16. A 5-16 is infield single. That's going to score 1. Little number between the pitcher and the third baseman. Getting to it late and bobbling it is the third baseman, but that's going to be a base hit. So an infield single, and that sends Brosius to third base. Score is 3-2 now. And Derek Jeter, Mr. November, steps in the box. Bobby Jones is still in there. Here's the pitch. That's a 6-1. That's against a righty. That's a 6. And then a 6-3 is a 10. And a 10 is going to be line drive, base hit, center field. That's going to score 1. The game is tied. So Jeter comes up huge. And with 2 outs, runners advance 2 bases. That's going to send pinch hitter Vizcaíno to third. So it's going to be RBI single for Mr. November, and that's going to be it for Bobby Jones. Who do we have coming up? Luis Sojo is a righty. So we are going to bring in a righty. And that righty is going to be Rick Reed. No, Rick Reed is actually going to bring in Turk Wendell. You know what? We got 3 lefties, so I'm going to bring in a lefty here. I'm going to bring in a lefty. And the go-ahead run is on at third, so we're going to walk Sojo. So Rush is coming in. Glendon Rush. Glendon Rush is coming in after he goes 5 2/3. And Denny Nagel went 5 as well. All right, so Glendon Rush is in there for Bobby Jones. He's a lefty, so he's going to intentionally walk Sojo to pitch to the lefty, David Justice. All right, here's a pitch from Glendon Rush. That's a 6-5, and that's a 36. And a 6-5 again is a 39, and that's going to be a strikeout. So he blows one by David Justice to retire the side. So Glendon Rush does his job, comes in and intentionally walks Sojo to pitch to the lefty, David Justice, and strikes him out. But the Yanks pick up 2 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits, and they've tied the ball game at 3. It's all tied up at 3. All right. It's going to be Jeff Nelson facing Timo Perez, Edgardo Alfonso, and Mike Piazza. In the bottom of the 6th, here's a pitch. It's a 1-4, and it's a 5, and a 1-2 is a strikeout. So Nelson strikes out. Strikes out Timo Perez. Edgardo Alfonso's next. 3-2 is a 29, and then a 3-6 against a righty batter is going to be a 32. Let me see, a 329 plus 332, and that is a fly ball right field. Right there is O'Neill. 2 down. Mike Piazza, here's the pitch. It's a 5-1's a 4. And a 5-5 is going to be a 5-9, and that is base on balls. So a 2-out walk. And Piazza trots down to first here in the bottom of the sixth with the game tied at 3. There's 2 outs. Pitch to Zeal. It's a 5-4, which is a 2. It's a 6, a 5-6, and that's ball 4. With with runners on first base only, it's going to be 2 balls. We're re-rolling for Todd Zeal. It's a 5-1. That's a 5, and then a 5-6 is a 10, and that is ball 4. So after securing the first 2 outs of the inning, Jeff Nelson walks Piazza and Zeal back to back, and that brings up Robin Ventura. And that's a 6-4. It's a 36, and a 37 is going to be strike 3, and that retires the side. So a big K for Nelson to get out of that inning. And we go to the top of the 7th. The walks are in yellow. And this makes it super clear to me what exactly has gone on in the inning. And slows me down enough to keep track of what's going on. So just want to check something. So he can go, he came in the 6th, so he can go an inning here, and then he can go 2 more. All right, so he goes an inning, he can go 2 more. And Rush came in the 6th. So Rush is not going to be able to go. He can go 1 more batter. Bernie Williams. Oh, let's not do that. All right, here goes. Bernie Williams against Glendon Rush in the top of the 7th. The game is tied at 3. So 4-1 is a 1. And then a 4 is a shortstop, and that is Pettitte. And Pettitte is a 252. Big ground ball to Pettitte over to first and in time to get Bernie Williams. Tino Martinez. Now this is the 4th batter, and we're going to have to use his B column for pitching. Oh, and that's the first time that's happened since I got this new tower. 3-3 is a 32. A 32 and a 4 is going to be a 36. So a 336, and that's going to be driven down the line and into the corner. After it is the left fielder, Agbayani, and he gets it in, but into second base with his second double of the game is Tino Martinez. And we're going to bring in a new lefty now. Mets are going to bring in Franco. John Franco. To face Paul O'Neill. 0.2, and that's going to be Franco. All right, here's the pitch to Paul O'Neill. Tying run is at second base. It's a 1-2, that's a 4. And a 1-4 is a strikeout. Big strikeout for John Franco. Blows a fastball by Paul O'Neill, who's late on his swing. Jorge Posada with 2 outs. There's a pitch from Franco. It's a 1-2. That's a 1 and a 1-3. It's back-to-back Ks, and Franco does his job. No runs, no hits, no runs. 1 hit in the top of the 7th. And the score remains tied at 3. Excuse me. All right. It's going to be Nelson can go an inning. Well, he went his inning already. So then he's going to go 2 batters. He's going to pitch to Agbayani and Payton, and then we're going to bring in a new batter for Bordick. Here goes. Here's the pitch from Jeff Nelson. That's a 2-1. That's a 3, and a 2-3 is a strikeout. So Nelson strikes out. Wait a second. Ah. All right, there it is. Jay Payton's next. That's a 4-5. It's a 17. A 17, an F on the 4 is the shortstop. Shortstop is a 2, so that makes it a 19, and that's going to be a ground ball handled by the shortstop. Jeter over to first. That's out number 2. And now it's Mike Bordick. We're bringing in the guy the Yanks were using, lefty Stanton. Mike Stanton to replace Nelson. And Stanton went 1.2. And here's a pitch to Stanton. We're going to have to do a double switch. Unless we wait one. Let's wait one. Let's allow, we're going to wait one. See what happens. Because otherwise, I just noticed that he's up next inning, and we don't want to do that yet. All right, so it's going to be a 4-1. It's a 1, and then a 5 is the shortstop. It's going to be a grounder up the middle, and Jeter gets to it. Spinorama over to first and in time, so it's 6-3, and that retires the side. So Nelson goes 2 innings for us. And he gave up no hits but 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. And it's going to be Stanton next in the bottom of the 8th. Top of the 8th, it's going to be Brocious. Brocious is going to face off against John Franco. Say 2-6, a 5, and then a 2-2 is a strikeout. So Franco struck out all 3 batters he has faced so far. The pitcher's up. So this is where they're going to call back Jeff Nelson. And there's going to be a pinch hitter against Franco. It's going to be a righty, Chuck Knobloch. All right. That's a 2-1. That's an 11. Then a 2-2 is a 12. On a 2, a 12 is line base hit to left, played on a hop, so it's a pinch hit single for Chuck Knobloch. Both Yankees pinch hitters have singles, and it's Derek Jeter. It's a 3-3 game here in the top of the 8th. John Franco faces Derek Jeter with a 5-6. That's a 4. And then another 5-6 is an 8-5-8, and that's ball 4. First and second, Luis Sojo. Pitch from Franco. A 1-6 is a 45, and a 1-6 is a 47. 147 is going to be a it's going to be a potential comebacker to the pitcher. So this is a potential double play. Roll 1 die against the pitcher's defense. If the die is higher, score it as a double play. The pitcher's defense rating is a 2. And that's a 2, so it's not higher, so it's going to be a fielder's choice. 1-6. And going to third base is Knobloch. Oh, wait a second. All right. I may have played that wrong. Score this, a ground ball back to the pitcher with throws to second for the force out. Roll one die against the pitcher's defense. If the die is higher, score it as a double play. If not, batter is safe as he beats the play to first. Okay. Yes, it's basically a fielder's choice. Okay, I played it right. All right, so first and third, the go-ahead run is 90 feet away from the Yankees taking the lead in a 3-3 game here at Shea Stadium, the year 2000. This game was played on October 25th. So David Justice is going to come to the plate against John Franco. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-6, and that's a 47. 47 and a 3-4 is a 48. So 348, and that is going to be against a lefty line drive toward right field, leaping catch by second baseman. So that's line, and up goes the second baseman, Alfonso, and brings it back down. So it's an L4, and that's going to retire the side. And that's no runs and 1 hit and a walk. Yanks leave 2. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 3-3 tie. Fielder's choice is a ground ball, so that's going to be, there we go. All right. So Mike Stanton is going to be pinch hit for. Mike Stanton is going to be pinch hit for, and then we're going to get a new pitcher. It's going to be lefty, 3 lefties. So again, the Mets. Let's see who the Mets are going to bring in. Dennis Cook. Franco went 1.2. And he gave up one hit, 3 strikeouts, and a walk. All right. So Cook is going to be the new pitcher for the Mets. And right now, the Mets are going to bring up a pinch hitter. Mets haven't used the pinch hitter yet. And the Yankees have let's see. Yanks had a pinch hitter, so they're going to need a new pitcher. It's not going to be Rivera yet. And they did use David Cone. So I'm going to bring in David Cone to pitch. Save Mariano. So Cone's coming in. Here's a pitch. Mets are going to bring. Mets have to bring in a pinch hitter. It's going to be Matt Franco. All right, here's a pitch from Cone. It's a 5-4, which is a 20. And then a 5-5, which is a 24, 5-24, and that's a base on balls. So Franco is on. And that's just, he's a one base runner, so he's really slow. We're going to bring in Darryl Hamilton to run. So Hamilton's going to pinch run. And bottom of the 8th. Leadoff batter's on. All right, it's going to be an M. So we're going to roll on the M chart. Could be a wild pitch. Could be a bunch of things. So it's a 10. It's a pass ball. So if blue die is higher than the catcher's pass ball rating, which I highly doubt, because it's a 1, so I don't think that that's going to be higher than a 4, so it's not. All right. So no pass ball, runner on first, Timo Perez. Here's a pitch from David Cone. That's a 5-6, that's a 4. And a 5-3 is an 8, 5-8, and that's ball 4. So Cone walks the first 2 batters he faces. And that's going to be Edgardo Alfonso. Make sure I look at the right place. 5-6. No, I did not look at the right place. I had the wrong card up. I was still looking at, I don't know who I was looking at. Yeah, I was looking at Bordick. I don't know why I had Bordick up. I should have Franco. I was like, all right, so let's do this again. So it's going to be a 5-6. It's going to be a 27. And then a 5-3. So it's going to be no walk. So we kind of have to re-roll the situation. So a 5-6 is a 27. And then a 5-3 is a 31. 5-31. And that's going to say fly out to center field. Oh, damn it. Put in the wrong spot. All right, so Edgardo Alfonso now with runner on first base. Here's a pitch. That's a 2-3. That's a 16. And a 2-1 is an 18. A 2-18, and that is a fly ball center field. So back-to-back flyouts for the center fielder, Bernie Williams. And it's Mike Piazza against David. Oh, and I have to look at okay, I have to go to David Cone's 6'5", that's a 36. 36 is 41, a 641, and that's a strikeout. And Cone strikes out Mike Piazza to retire the side. So we go to the top of the 9th. Dennis Cook is going to face Bernie Williams. It's all tied at 3. No runs, no hits. Go to the top of the 9th in a pretty good ball game. All tied at 3. The Mets lead the series 2-1. We're replaying the 2000 baseball World Series. Excuse me. Bernie Williams is up. It's a 16 and a 19, a 6-19, and that's a fly ball right field, way back. Unload on that one, drives it all the way to the fence, and Perez with his back up against the fence and makes the catch. Next is Tino Perez. And Snake Eyes is a 20, 21, 121. That's a line drive base hit to left field. And we're going to roll against the, maybe mishandle, so we're going to roll against the left fielder. Left fielder is Aguayani. And he is a 343, 342. So let's see what happens. It's a 41, so he doesn't mishandle it, so it's going to be a single. And Martinez is on at first. I got it. Hold on one second. Okay, my dog is up. All right, so this is where the game gets interesting. We're in the top of the ninth. The score is 3-3. Yankees Mets 2000 World Series Game 4. The Mets are up 2-1 in the series. Yankees don't want to lose this one. Tino Martinez singled with one out. He's on at first, and it's Paul O'Neill versus Dennis Cook. Now, we're in the part of the game where we're going to be using a lot of the B section of the pitcher cards because I need for pitchers to go a little bit longer. I don't have that many pitchers. I've already used 8 total pitchers in the game. I probably have a couple more for each team. So just to simplify it, I'm going to just let them go with their B column or B row, I guess. Not column, but row. So Paul O'Neill is going to face Dennis Cook lefty on lefty, but Cook is using his B row. So here goes. That's a 2-6. That's a 16. 18, 2-18, and that's going to say fly ball center field. Cruising over is Jay Payton. He was the Mets center fielder in 2000. So there's 2 outs, and it's Jorge Posada. Here's the pitch. It's a 5-4. It's a 20. It's a 23, a 5-23, and that's ball 4. That's going to push Martinez to second, and then we're going to look at the M column again. We'll roll on that. Could be wild pitch, pass ball, that sort of thing. It's a 5. It's a wild pitch, and it's 1. If blue die is higher than the pitcher's wild pitch rating, everybody advances. It won't be. It's not higher because he has a 1. So let's double check. If the blue die is higher, it's a wild pitch. It's not higher because it's a 1 and he has a 1. So Scott Brocious, here goes. It's a 1-5er, and that's a 3, and a 1-6 is a 3, and that's a strikeout. So Cook strikes out Brocious, and the Yankees leave 2, score none. And we go bottom of the 9th. David Cone. Cone now is using his B section. Now, we could bring Mariano in, especially since, well, we could bring, but we're holding on to Mariano. We're going to use Cone. Todd Zeal. Yeah, that's a 2-1. That's an 11. 13, a 2-13, and that's line base hit to left. Todd Zeal is on with a single. Next is Robin Ventura. 5-1's a 4. And then it's a 7. So a 5-7 is base on balls. Ball 4 puts runners on first and second. Agbayani swings away, 6-2. That's an 8. An 8 and a 5 is a 13. That's a deep drive. Agbayani drives one to deep left field. Back goes Justice to the track, to the wall. That's out of here. The Mets win it. The Mets win it with an Agbayani 3-run home run in the bottom of the 9th. And his teammates are waiting at home plate to celebrate. David Cone allowed a single by Zeal, walked Ventura, and then up came Agbayani, gave him a fastball, and Agbayani took it deep over the left field fence, and the Mets win it by a score of 6-3. Walk-off victory for the Metropolitans. For the Amazons. So I'm glad that game ended. When I got to start doing a lot of those changes, you know, all the pitching changes and all that, that's becomes a drag. Especially in these short series where you're not sure who the everyday relief pitchers are. Hey there. Macatago. How you doing, man? Yeah, this is a fun game. We're replaying the 2000 World Series, Mets Yankees. I was hoping the Mets could pick up at least 2 victories. They were only capable of achieving 1. So I said, let me replay it. I think the Mets just had some bad luck, and they could probably do better against the Yankees. So I was able to pick up this set off a good friend of mine, and at a fair deal, whatever he was asking, pretty much. And I'm playing 2000 World Series using Replay Baseball. The Mets won this one. They won it in the top of the 9th on a 3-run home run by Benny Agbayani. The loss is going to go to David Cone. He gets the loss. The win is going to be for Cook, Dennis Cook. And let's see how many hits. It was 3 runs on 2 hits there. So 2, 3, 4, 4. Mets only had 5 hits the whole game. Yankees must have had more. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 hits for the Yankees. No errors for the Yankees. 1 error for the Mets. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed our presentation of the 2000 World Series Game 4 using Replay Baseball. The final score was the Yankees with 3 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Mets with 6 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. They win it on the 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th by Benny Agbayani against David Cohn. David Cohn is pitching with the Yankees in the year 2000. So is Dwight Gooden. Dwight Gooden is on the Yankee team in the year 2000. So that's interesting. So they were teammates 10 years earlier, right, with the Mets. Now 10 years later, they're facing the Mets in the 2000 World Series as teammates. So that was pretty ironic, I guess you can call it. All right, man. So I will. What time is it? It's gonna be 5 o'clock. So yeah. So this is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for checking us out, and I'm gonna input all this data in a second. Put the information in there for the pictures, but I'm gonna do that off camera. Don't want to do that on camera, and set up another game. The Mets now lead this series, right? 3-1. And we still have to play another game. That next game is going to be Andy Pettitte versus Al Leiter. This is the rematch of Game 1. And this is actually the last game that they play in this World Series. So anything that's played after this, I'll just have to kind of reuse Game 2, Game 3, and so on, and just play it in that order just to just kind of stay as close to the reality and to the players they were using as I can. And Replay Baseball is a fun little game. The PC version is outstanding. The PC version will sim the whole season for you, the whole league for you, and it's still good. So you can input, the data from your dice and card replays. You can input that yourself, but it'll play all the other teams. So you will get the full standings, the pennant races, the leaders, and so forth. Now, in the next game, I'm hoping that we're going to start using the B column a little bit more, because I find that I'd like to let the pitchers go a little bit more like an extra inning, because I don't like to get stuck having to, like normally I would have brought in Mariano, but I was basically didn't want to do that, because he's basically, I have used 3 pitchers already, and if you look at the Yankees in the 2000 World Series, they only use 4 relief pitchers. They use Nelson, they use Stanton, they use Cone. I believe they use Cone, and they use Mariano, and that's it. So I'm not totally sure who they had available to them. So I just wanted to avoid that whole thing, and I let Coney go a little bit, maybe longer than I should have. But in the last game, I probably would have brought Mo in. So there's going to be Al Leiter in the next game versus Andy Pettitte. Pettitte is southpaw, probably the Yankee ace. He started game 1. I guess Roger Clemens is also in there. So between those two, they're going to be the aces of the staff. So let's Jeff Nelson, Danny Nagel. All right, so this is pretty much it. Let me just double check the next lineup. And let me make sure I have the right, Vizcaino is going to lead us off. Let's put Vizcaino is going to lead us off. It's going to be Jeter, Justice, so Soto's out. Martinez, I use actual lineups. Posada, this I printed out from Digi Dugout. It gives you the actual lineups. And nice big boxes. I really like that about this. Andy Pettitte is a 1 batter, so he's going to use pitcher hitting card number 1. Getting this game ready, and then I'll take a break, and then I'll come back probably get some lemonade and come back a little while and play it. For the Mets, they're going to change up their lineup a little bit. They're putting Agbayani, the hero of Game 4. They're putting him leadoff. And Piazza and, Bernie Williams got into the wrong house. Zeal, Ventura, Bubba Trammell, Payton, Kurt Abbott. So there's a couple of changes. I think the Mets weren't getting the hitting that they wanted, so they made some changes. Bubba Trammell, and it's going to be Kurt Abbott playing in this game. So that'll be fun to have a couple of different players, see how they perform. And then Kurt Abbott, and then it's, of course, the pitcher Payton, and then Kurt Abbott, and then the pitcher spot, and Leiter is going to be a 1 batter. So both batters are 1s. So we're going to have to go into the pitcher hitting card and pull out another 1 here. So this is the Yankees. And these are the Mets. I'm going to pull out another pitcher hitting card, number 1, and replace it, put 3 back. I got this new tray because I had some issues with my old tray that was very quiet, and I really liked it because of that. I wish that I contacted this company to see if they would put the felt in it, but they said we're not doing that at this time. All right, so it's going to be pitcher hitting card 1. Bernie Williams is going to be batting cleanup. And we'll input some of the, so Vizcaíno is going to be at second base. He's a 361, pretty good fielder. Derek Jeter is a 242. David Just is an outfielder. He's in left field, so he's a 3.446. The 4 is his arm. Bernie Williams, 5.266. Not a very good arm for Williams. Tino Martinez is the first baseman, and he's a 253. O'Neill's 4.461, much better arm. Jorge Posada, 3.453. Scott Broche is the third baseman, 244. And then Andy Pettitte is a 223. They better not hit anything back to him because that's going to be an error. And then Agbayani in 3 is 3.42. Gardo Alfonso is a 155. And Piazza is a 2.562. Todd Zeal is the first baseman. He announces for the Mets. So it's Piazza. Wait a second. Alfonso is batting second. Todd Zeal, 346. And then Ventura, third baseman, 234. Bubba Trammell is going to be in right field. He's going to be at 2.444. And Jay Payton in center with a 4.436. Finally, the shortstop, which should come up, 4.35. And Al Leiter is a 3.66, so he's a much better feeling pitcher. And that's about it. I use the computer version. I got like 6 different replay games going on. And I use the computer version for my 69, my 71, my 76. Computer version, I use it for my 85, my 87, my 2019, and my 2014. So I have all replay seasons going, and I just bounce around for whatever that interests me because all my stats are there. The schedule is there. All the lineups are there. Everything. I don't have to do anything but pull out the cards roll, input the information. I know, the standings. I know the leaders. I know everything. It's all kept for me by the computer. So it's like having a team with you that keeps track of all the stuff you don't want to keep track of. I just want to go through the game and enjoy the game. So anyway, I set up this game already. This is going to be game 5. The Mets lead it 3-1. They lead the series 3-1. Who would have thought, right? And now I want to go back and have a little bit of fun doing Nagel. Nagel went 5 innings and struck out. And look how easy it is to do. He gave up 3 hits and struck out 2. And walks, I can see immediately that there was only 1 walk. Through the colors. The colors tell you what happened. So it was 1, 2, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 3 earned runs. And that was it, just like that. And there was no hit batters. There was no batters faced. I can tell you right now, it was 18 batters faced. Just go to the bottom and count. Twice, 2 times 9. That was Denny Nagel. Then came Nelson. Nelson did a good job. Pitched a couple innings, and I wrote him in already, so he's in there. And he pitched 5 and 8. 5 and 3 is 8. Based. Then it was Stanton. Stanton went. Where did I bring Coney in? Let's see. Coney got, all right, Coney was pinned. Okay, so this is, Stanton is a lefty, and I wrote him in to face some lefties somewhere. Let me see. So it seems that I didn't put somebody in where I was supposed to. So I got to kind of track this down. So Nelson, I know, went 2 innings for sure. Yeah, okay, I got it. And then Cone. Stanton pitched to these 2 lefties, and then Cone came in here. Cone came in there. And then he pitched 1 and 2. So that's why I like to do it while I'm playing it, because that way there's never a chance that this will happen. So it was 0.1 and a hit, no runs. A walk. See, that's why I do it that way. So he came in there. Oh, and yep. So righty. So then Cone went 1. He went 0.2. 7. There's something definitely wrong here. Wait, that's 2. So that's 7 innings. And yeah, this is going to be then 8 innings. Okay. He gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, none. Pitched to 5 batters. Pitched to 2 batters. Hit by pitch. None there. All right. So that's it there. And then for the Mets, Bobby Jones gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs. And walks, he gave up 1 walk. Strikeouts, 4 strikeouts. Right by pitch. Batters faced, he faced 20, 27, 28 batters. Rush did a good job. And Rush faced 4 batters. Then it was Franco. Franco came in, pitched 1.2. and three strikeout. I have all that in there. He faced 7 batters, and Cook came in for an inning. Gave up a hit and a walk, 1 strikeout, no runs, hit and a walk. He went 1 inning, won the game, got the victory. Pitched to 5 batters, and that's pretty much it. So I needed here. Let's see. So the bottom of the 5th, okay, bottom of the 6th, it was a new pitcher here. Nelson, he went 2 because I wrote that in. And then at the top, it was Stanton that came in. He walked 1, and then there was I brought in Cone to face the righty, Frank Alfonso. 2 righties coming up. That's it. So this is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks, guys. And I got all that in, finished all that. I'm using a 003 pen. Sometimes if you leave it without the top on, it kind of dries up instantaneously because there's so little ink at the top there that any air. So you kind of have to always, if you notice, I have my top in my hand. I keep on doing that all the time to just keep it breathing. But I like the small lines so I can fit them in to the paper and write in as many notes as I need to write in there. So I'm going to take a picture of this, and I'll post it on one of the sites somewhere, tell a quick story. I try to keep my stories very, very short and sweet. I know guys don't want to read, these guys write these long paragraph, Norman Mailer style paragraphs that go on forever with no breaks in them. I try to keep it down to like 3 sentences. If I can write a summary in 3 sentences, I feel the guys will want to know really just, hey, what really happened that was worth mentioning. Otherwise, don't waste my time because I got a lot of other things to do, including play my own games. So anyway, I'll explain. Probably the highlight for this game is Benny Agbayani's 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th off David Cone. That's probably what I'll write there. The Mets lead the series 3-1, 2000 World Series. So this is CP Cards and Dice. Thank you very much, guys. I will see you again soon. Please check out my other information and like and give me the thumbs up and so forth and subscribe. Also check out my Facebook, not my Facebook channel, but our Facebook channel. There's multiple Facebook channels. We have the Payoff Pitch Facebook channel. It's Payoff Pitch Group Network. It's called Group Network, Payoff Pitch Group Network. Then we have the Deep Drive, the Deep Drive group. Then we have the 70s and 80s C&D group. That's a fun group as well. And I welcome you to join, and I will approve you there, get you in, and we can continue our conversations there. Take care, guys. Keep rolling.